deep cover. Last I heard, he's tracking the syndicate.
Yeah, last I heard he was 3 over par.
Last I heard, it sounded like someone torturing kittens.
Last I heard, my gym makes money.
I heard 5.
You heard wrong.
You heard him. Those were his last words.
Last I'd heard, he'd been defeated again.
Last I heard, Joe coaches women's wrestling.
POTUS is awake?
Yeah, last I heard.
I heard that.
Last I heard, he lived around here somewhere.
Last time that I'd heard, you had,
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Last I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Lee Dempsey, alongside Josh Winch. Just 2 out of 3 of the Gridiron Gang. Once again, old Travie boy. I don't know, taking a brief hiatus, but I promise he will be back. He will be back.
He's too wrapped up in the politics of the world right now.
Yes, absolutely. If anyone's ever been more wrapped up in politics, it's that man right there, and he needs a break from the world, I guess. So I said, go ahead, no problem, buddy. Yes, I don't know. He's a character, as everyone that watches this knows that, but
he's on a little sabbatical. We had to send him on the Last I Heard sabbatical.
Yes.
Last 2 weeks have been trying for him from his political views in the world, so he needs a little reprieve. We're giving him his reprieve. He'll be back with us next week, folks.
Absolutely. And man, it seems crazy because ever since he hasn't been on here, the Packers been showing out, and
maybe that's why he's not joining. He
right?
wants to keep the good juju going.
Might be a long year for us, and I guess I don't know. It seems
a lot of face
doing
time.
well. Yeah.
Yep.
So man, just to get into it, I guess right away we can get into some news here.
News flash, asshole!
Yes, that's right. We got news, big news. A lot of injuries here early on in the year. My Minnesota Vikings being a major one of those. Major announcements came out yesterday, today, and just even really for the last week and a half. The Vikings have accumulated, I believe, over 13 injured players in the last 2 weeks of football here. And the most importantly being the guy at the helm, J.J. McCarthy, have a high ankle sprain. Is considered week to week. Will not play this coming week against the Bengals, who also Joe Burrow has been placed on IR, expecting to miss 3 months. I guess they put that timetable on there, and with a turf toe injury. And as much as we've always kind of clowned on the turf toe injury, it's actually a pretty big strain within there. It's like you could legit lose a toe there. So it's worthy enough of missing time, but man, it sucks for a guy who we unanimously picked as our MVP candidate for this year. So to basically kiss that goodbye right off the bat sucks. And Aaron Jones also on the Vikings placed on IR today, which I'll say this right now. Yes, it is good for my fantasy team, but with Jordan Mason, but I must say, as much as I like Aaron Jones, it seems like a phenomenal person and everything, he's not the back that I want taking, every snap. I definitely want Jordan Mason out there. He's a dog. He punches through to get yards and everything. So he's much more exciting, much more efficient back for what we're looking for. If I want to toss the ball out to a running back, just my safety net there, Aaron Jones, phenomenal for it. He's a great receiving back. He's got speed. He's got elusiveness, but just not the bulky brute that I'm looking for in Minnesota, unfortunately, and what they need. Any news on your end, Winch, that you got? Any big ones? I feel like that's, for the most part, the injuries, some of the biggest.
Yeah, no, I think you've hit on most of the big injuries there. It's from a fantasy perspective, we talked about this a little bit off air, but it's been an interesting season for fantasy owners, and a lot of people pop in that most wouldn't expect, like Daniel Jones. It's literally the second quarterback in all of fantasy right now, which is wild. I mean, you have Javonte Williams, I think, is a top 5 running back in fantasy for the Cowboys. Quentin Johnson at receiver for the Chargers. It's upside down a little bit. I'll be interested to see if that pattern continues, corrects. Obviously, you expect some of the big names to pick up production, but an injury like Burrow or J.J. McCarthy, they're thrown to, wide receiver 1 and wide receiver, wherever you put J.J., top 3. it's going to have an impact on the season for sure. And then Burrow getting hurt obviously could also impact the run game with Chase Brown. And so, yeah, it will be interesting from a fantasy perspective, but those are big injuries. And we'll see how the season can, how the team can rebound, but both have positioned themselves in a manner in which they have veteran backups that have stepped in and played well before. So, and they have obviously talented teams around them, so they could have a lot of success. It'll just be a matter of can they hold on until they're both back. Obviously, Burrow's a long time. It'll pretty much be playoffs at that point in time.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Coincidentally enough, that the Vikings and the Bengals play each other this week.
Yep.
It was
Battle of the backups.
Yeah, battle of the backups. How exciting that's gonna be. I think with Carson Wentz taking the snap. I don't know. I that's weird. I never would have thought that. We just kind of picked him up a couple weeks ago, So it's like just odd to think that he's going to be leading the ship, leading the charge. I thought.
What if he comes in and just plays really well?
That's what I'm worried about, where it's like another rental year quarterback, where it's like we're just going to keep this guy in because he's balling, and I'm like, I don't know.
They just keep doing this.
Yeah, it's just regurgitating the same crap over and over, which could happen. And I think like the JJ thing, there's been a lot of, and I think I'll probably just address this right away. There's a lot of talk about similar to what we talked about last week, where it was almost like people were calling his career already. And it's like, there's not a single quarterback that's successful in this league right now that was phenomenal their first 2 games, for one. 2, I barely blame almost any of it on JJ. Like, I think he's had just an insane amount of pressure. Literally,
especially off the left side with
Darisaw. Darisaw was out, then School went out in that game too. So they're on their 3rd left tackle in that game, and like School was terrible. So it's, imagine the 3rd guy, Rouse, going in there and not playing well. Then at halftime, their center Kelly, he goes out for the rest of the game. Like Gink was out. It's just, which the one plus side of Gink being out is Dallas Turner got to play, and he played well. He got a sack. He got 5 tackles for loss, I think. Like he was all over the field, and he looked good. So I was happy to see that. But yeah, I think we're gonna see some pretty piss poor football this next week out of that game. However, I believe the last time the Bengals played the Vikings, it was also Browning that had to start, and he beat the Vikings then. So, and he was a former Viking, so he was talking a bunch of shit about how they shouldn't have cut him and blah blah blah. So, as much as I'd love for the Vikings to just beat the piss out of that kid, I don't think they're gonna. But we'll get into that one a little later. I say we get into our best and worst of the week, and I realize I don't have best and worst of the week music. I don't know. Maybe that's a little to-do list for me later.
There we go.
Action item there that will make that happen. I was trying to make a video of the intro yesterday.
That'd be fun.
Yes, I was trying to either try to redo the intro or just make video to it in general. And I was really hoping AI was going to help me a lot there, and it didn't at all. It was like maxes out at 8 seconds, and I'm like, 8-second video. I'm like, I can't do anything with that. So it was pretty brutal, but work in progress. We're figuring it out. Are you tapping something, or is that me?
That's me.
Okay. So yeah, we'll get into our best and worst of the week. Do you want to lead us off on your best and worst?
For sure. I will start with the worst. Get the bad news out of the way right away.
All right.
And the bad news is the bad news Bears. They are my worst of the week. As Lovie Smith says, they are who we thought they were. And that is exactly what I said leading into the season, that the Bears are going to be a dumpster fire. And 2 weeks in, that is exactly what they are. I love, too, some analysis that I'm seeing from after the game. Like, wow, Caleb Williams is making progress. And they look better. They're getting in. I mean, did anyone watch that fucking game? They gave up 52 points. They couldn't stop a runny nose. I mean, it was it was absolutely terrible. And Ben Johnson couldn't get off that field fast enough after that handshake with Dan Campbell. Yeah, rough start to the year for the Bears. But what I kind of predicted. So not surprised, but man, did they get their ass pounded. So That's my worst of the week. My best of the week is Brandon Aubrey. Should I just say the man, the myth, the legend? I've never seen a kicker this damn good in my life.
Yeah,
and
right?
I usually don't give special teams praise. Everyone knows me. I don't punt. I don't kick. I don't believe in it. But if I had this guy, maybe I would. Jesus.
Right?
What a game, too. The Giants and Cowboys. The last 5 minutes of that game, I think there was 4 touchdowns. It was back and forth, back and forth. Malik with that bomb on like 27 seconds left, and everyone's like, oh my God, the Giants won. And Aubrey gets position. They just put it at like the 50-yard line. He's like, sounds good. I got this. Not even sweating, just goes out there, 64 yards. Sends it to OT. They get him in position again. Nails it. Game. The guy doesn't even smile. He just walks out the field. That's what I do.
Too easy for him.
I just love his swag. Like just something about him. So that was my best of the week. The guy is just incredible.
He is. I almost took that as well. I thought that was gonna be.
He should. I mean, there's jokes about him going number 1 in fantasy. Like
I heard that.
It's just wild.
Like, I was like that'd be insanely stupid, but I get why you'd pick him early at least. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
he's a weapon.
If you're getting the teens every single week with a kicker, that's incredible. So teens or more. Yeah, I'll go my worst. I guess I already touched on it, the Vikings injuries and O-line, just the combination of everything. I don't want JJ McCarthy back starting until Darius Saw is for sure back on that field.
Just because
how terrible they've been. Especially for Darius Saw to come into like the end of training camp and take first team reps, and we're like, oh yeah, dude, he's back. He's gonna start week 1. And he hasn't, and he still no word if he's gonna start this next week. It's kind of like,
what is his injury?
He's just recovering from last year. So this was what was it? Wasn't Achilles, but it was something major like that where it was going to take a full year recovery basically. So I mean, it's understandable what's taking so long, but it's just frustrating to see it as like he's, you know, just that young inexperienced quarterback to go in there and kind of just get his ass kicked. Like the guy has no time at all. People were trying to chop it up as you know, JJ's holding on to the ball too long. And I can't tell. Give me 1 second. I think the dog might be up to something.
No worries. Take a little break. While Lee's away, Miami plays Florida this weekend. Miami is number 4 in the nation now. And the Florida Gators coming to town. College game day will be there. So excited for this one. I'm also cautiously optimistic is the words I keep using about the Hurricanes this year. This is the best team I've seen, and I feel good about their chances. Having said that, I also know what happens at the end of every season. They tend to fall off and not make the plays they need to and come up 1 game or 2 games short. The Gators come into Miami motivated, coming off of 2 rough losses. They're calling for their head coach's job. So that, you know, playing with the Vegas odds, if you will, you know, they don't really have anything to lose coming into Miami. It makes me a little nervous, but I feel good. The team is better. They should win. They just got to go out there, perform, and play well on both sides. And Saturday night, I'll be a nervous Nelly, and hopefully they can come out and start quick, get the lead, and then hold on from there. Defensive line is insane, dude. Keep an eye out for Ruben Bain. That'll be a household name in about a year or 2. He's an absolute freak defensive lineman. Probably be a top 10 pick next year. And then on the other side, counterpart Keem Mesidor also be a top, first or second round pick. So they got a dynamic duo on the D line and O line. Fantastic.
What position is he on O line?
He's a defensive end. Ruben Bain is.
Oh, the other guy, the offensive line guy.
Oh, sorry. Francis Malinois is the right tackle.
Right tackle. Okay, I was gonna say Vikings.
So those two will be top 10 picks.
Okay.
It could if Carson Beck plays the way that he's played these first 3 games, I could see him being a first round pick too. So they could have 3 first round picks next year. Francis and Ruben for sure are going to be top 15 picks. Okay. They're freaks, both of them. Athletically, their Pro Football Focus scores are off the charts. They've started at Miami since they're true freshmen, and this year they're kind of putting it all together. So barring injury or anything unforeseen, they'll both be very high picks next year. And I think both of them have very long careers in the NFL. So A lot of talent on the team. It's just a matter of, can we finish? Can we do the job? Execute? All the simple things coaches say. Protect the ball. Yeah. But I'm excited. Be a good game.
Yeah. I want to give I want to watch one, but I also feel like my luck it would turn the tides, and I
well,
don't
I'll
want to
let
do
you know
that.
when they play Stanford. How's that?
Okay.
Watch that.
I'm very as much as I think about it, I don't want to be it. I'm very superstitious, and I'm just like
I am too. Yeah, I try not to be, but I wear the same jersey. If they're winning, I'm doing the same, wearing the same socks. It's yeah. I think it's part of being a sports fan. It's becomes a little bit more of a fandom where you get addicted to the team, and you're like, anything I can do to help contribute.
Yeah, right.
Think wearing that watch or the jersey or whatever is going to help them. But
yeah. 100%. That Monday night game against the Bears, the Vikings, I was all over the place in my living room watching that game, but when I was laying down on the couch is when we were scoring. So when I was sitting up on the edge, I was getting excited. I sit up on the edge, and that's where the Bears got that late touchdown. I'm like, I gotta move back to the couch, and I go back. I was like,
that's
panicking.
funny because last year when Miami played Cal and they came from behind and won by 25, I was sitting on the floor while they were just getting their asses kicked, and then all of a sudden they turned it around, and I'm like, okay, I can't move. Just gonna stay here. The juju's flowing. I could see it. I had to piss so bad, but I'm like, hold on,
hold it, dude. That's how it was with the dog. Yep, I was with the dogs. Whiny's got to go outside. I'm like, just hold it, man. We're doing something.
Not now, Cash.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy the lengths that we'll go to try to help our teams, like you said. Not really doing anything, but we're doing something.
We believe we are. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So before I was on my worst of the Vikings O-line and injuries, I'm gonna shift to my best. And I was just kind of getting a recap of it before we started here, but I heard about it, the excitingness of that game, so I wanted to make sure I got the view of it. But Baker Mayfield and the Bucks, 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in that game to get down the field and score, and to do it the way that they did it. Baker on the run, getting extending the drive. You had some impressive runs or reception by Bucky to get down the field. That was a good run. And then White to punch it in the end zone there with 9 seconds left. So it's exciting to I don't know. We touched on it last week too. It's just their Bucks are exciting. They're a fun football team. And I think that's Baker. I think that's Baker Mayfield getting to his roots. I'm a Baker fan for sure. And I've kind of I've always liked Mike Evans a lot. I like Bucky. So they're just a very overall likable team. Antoine Winfield Jr., of course, his dad's ties to Minnesota. So there's a lot of part of me that does like the Bucks for what they've done. So I will have an honorable mention. We talked about backups earlier, but backups for San Francisco there, Mac Jones throwing 3 touchdowns. We thought that guy's career was dead. Yeah, and he came out. I'm granted they threw the ball a lot that game, but he still got 3 touchdowns and got the W. So that was very impressive. I thought the Saints were going to win that one. Looking back at the picks, you and Trav both picked now I'm blanking on it.
Niners.
49ers, yeah, and I picked the Saints because I was like, Saints looked okay in week 1, Rattler's getting the job done. He looks like
he
kind of a
played
fun
bad.
team too. Yeah, he's played well. So I don't know if it's just was it Shah? I think that's how you pronounce his last name or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe just somebody, on his back where he's just gotta, perform at the highest level or something where he's just a chip on his shoulder or something. I don't know what it is, but seems to be playing better than he did last year. So that's good.
Yep. He's playing game manager football and keeping them in the games at least. So
yep, exactly. With that said, let's get into some power rankings. Yes, that's right.
That just
we got
gets
the
you fired up.
It does, right?
Should be a walk-up song.
Yeah. Let's have you start us off with the power rankings, Josh. What do you got? I think I'm gonna move somebody around.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start. I'll work down up. So I have a pretty similar list, maybe a few in a different order here. So I'm gonna start at number 5. I got the Baltimore Ravens. I think their roster is more talented than this. They played the Cleveland Browns. It was a competitive game for a while. Then the Ravens just kicked their ass in the fourth quarter. I think it was 41-17 ended up being. But obviously the lost week one of the Bills. Love this team trajectory in the long run. They're going to be there. They're going to be there in the end. Maybe fighting for a Super Bowl. So not much more to say there. Number 4, I moved up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like what you said, I just like this team. They're gritty. They're tough. They love playing for each other. Akabuka, Godwin, Mike Evans, Bucky, Rashad White. They got a lot of weapons on offense to distribute to. I like their offensive line a lot. It's really a Mauler style offensive line. And in defense, they're hard to run against. So they're going to force the throw against them. And I think this is a team that gets better as the season goes on and becomes a tough out in the playoffs. Number 3, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. So I saw someone post this on Twitter today, and it's very true. The Eagles are one of the boringest teams to watch in football, but they just know how to win. I mean, this team is. I just listed off a whole bunch of Buccaneers. This team's more than talented at every position on their roster. Probably the most talented team in the NFL. You can't stop that tush push that I know Trav loves. But I mean, they win. They know how to win. They play for each other. It's a great group. I wouldn't be surprised if they're there in the end. Number 2, this is my biggest leap, the Green Bay Packers. I got to see them in person on Thursday night against the Washington Commanders, and holy shit. This might be the best defense I've seen in person. That defensive line is insane. I know Parsons obviously draws all the attention, and he should. I don't think I've ever seen a player that explosive with my own eyes in real life before. Like, just every play he was in the backfield, and it was like this. And he would be doing that 3 plays in a row. I mean, he does this he's like the Energizer Bunny at 250 or whatever it is pounds, running like crazy. Hell of a pickup by the Packers, but like they got Wyatt, they got Gary, they got Van Ness played well in that game. Their defensive line, they can go 2 or 3 deep and continue to get that type of pressure. It's just hard to beat. Jalen Daniels looked scared, running for his life. I mean, I think they had like 39 yards passing until like the fourth quarter. It was something crazy like that. Like, they just couldn't do anything to sustain a drive. And Green Bay missed probably 3 or 4 touchdowns, like deep balls in that game, where Jordan Love just overthrew Matthew Golden. So they connect on those, and the score becomes even uglier. I just think this team have all the pieces. It's a matter of can a wide receiver or 2 emerge to kind of take that next step. But Tucker Kraft has looked great. His first 2 games of the season, he's leading the NFL in all tight end categories, basically. So they found a nice weapon there. Their offensive line has been solid. Obviously, Jacobs, they have everything they need. So now it's just, will they sustain this? Will they sustain this success, or will they slip back? We will see. But the team 2 weeks in, I'm most impressed with is probably them. Unfortunately, I don't love to say that. Not a Packer fan, as you all know, but they deserve their flowers and have played really well. Number 1, I got the Buffalo Bills. This is, what else can I say? Josh Allen gets punched in the face, comes off sidelines, fixes it quick, goes right back in, doesn't even bother him. He says, as long as I can breathe, I'm playing. Just love that guy. Love the mentality of this team. I think Both was a big pickup for them. He started to play better last week for them. James Cook balls out the last 2 weeks. Keon Coleman's emerging. Obviously, they got great tight ends with Knox and Kincaid. And this team's tough. They got Superman at quarterback too. He's just, to me, he's the difference maker. If I swapped him with Jordan Love, that's a scary thought, but then the order changes. Josh Allen to me is just that much better than any other quarterback in the NFL right now.
Hard to add absolutely anything to that. That was like spot on, exactly what I was thinking for almost all the way down. And you really got me rethinking some of the orders of the ones I got. Oh man, like Yeah, I'll start. So number 5, I got the Ravens. That's where you had them as well. It's one of those where it's like on paper they're absolute monsters, and on the
Yeah.
field they kind of do the same thing. And it's these top 5 teams could have one week where drastically changes the order. So, but for right now, a lot of it, yeah, like you said, kind of stay in the same. Number 4, I have the Eagles. They're one of those, like you said, once again, top to bottom. You can name it pretty much every player on that starting lines there. So they're just absolute dogs that I think anyone would probably have their tails tucked between their legs while facing them. Number 3, I have the Chargers. I still want to keep them in
I
the
love that.
mix. It's just a fun team. Herbie's looking great. I'm really shutting up a
Early
lot of the haters.
MVP.
Yes, like I love the positive Herbie talk once again because I truly just like I was telling Taylor, and I think I may have brought this up even last week. Like I gush over that guy. Like I like that guy
Little
makes me
man
love
crush.
football. Yeah, like that guy throws a football, and I'm just in awe. My jaw's on the floor. So they're a fun team. Not as deep, definitely, as some of these other teams here, but they're getting it done, and they're getting it done in a good fashion. Number 2, I do have the Packers. Yeah, unfortunately, once again, not another Packer fan here. Um, obviously. And so it's hard for me to say that, but man, they're dogs out there. Like they are a great team. Like if you were to say if this were week 17 right now, you're like surefire Super Bowl team probably right
Yep.
there. That
Yep.
but it's just so early in the season. A lot of things can go wrong, do go wrong. Every team has injuries. So that's one of those where it's like, as long as that team can stay healthy, they're going to stay at the top, of these power rankings. Number 1, right there with you, the Bills. Like the Bills are, once again, you look at their roster, like it's so good. But the thing is that like, it doesn't even have to be as good on paper as like the Ravens or the Eagles, because to your point, Superman is at the helm there and he's the one in charge, and he can make anything happen. It seems like, whether it's in the air or in the ground, he will get the job done. Like if it's 3rd and 10 and they need that first down, like that guy will run through somebody to get the job done or run over him. Kind of, it's like he's an absolute freak, and yeah, he'll continue to be a major threat in this league for years and years to come because the way he's
Yeah.
and to another point of that, like he's another one too. I think I even brought this up last week to repeat myself again, but one of those that didn't start the hottest of his career kind of thing. So I constantly tell myself that with JJ McCarthy. Like it's been 2 weeks, people. Like people are like, oh, maybe he's not even hurt. They're just benching him, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe Kevin O'Connell will do that whatsoever. Like no
You
chance.
got to
Where
get
he would,
reps. You got to
yes,
get reps.
exactly.
Look at
So
Bryce Young even. I mean,
yeah, right.
he's getting better every game. He played really well in that Cardinals game. Almost brought them back in that game. Like he he started off looking like dog shit.
Right.
So you never know. You
Yeah,
just got to get
exactly.
reps. You got to develop. You got to get talent around you. It's not all obviously quarterback, but yeah, Josh Allen. We could just call him FedEx through the air, through the ground. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. He'll get the job done, man.
Yep. Absolutely. Um, yeah, so that wraps up our power rankings here. Let's our pick'ems now. We'll give a status update here. Yeah.
Get the
Yeah,
juices
that's
flowing.
right. Let's get it going. Pick'ems update here. Not a single thing changed from last week. We all got 12 correct out of the 16 games that were played. So fairly decent for us. Not too shabby whatsoever. I feel like we're all kind of out there. Travis, I will say, forgot to make his Thursday night pick, which I assume he would have picked the Packers. So he technically should be
Could
tied in
have
first
13.
with you. Yeah, he should be tied in first place with you. But screwed that one up there. Man, if the Saints would have pulled off that win, I would have
That would have
leapfrogged.
helped.
Yeah, that would have been huge. But yeah, for our pick'ems, absolutely wild week in the NFL. Hopefully it continues on to this next week, week 3, because Josh and I were talking before we started the stream that a lot of these are lopsided games this next week, where it seems like it's easy winners across the board here. So with that being said, we'll get into some week 2 games here, week 2 predictions. What do I got here? Our first game, let's do to stay in order, we'll just do Bengals at the Vikings here. Not an exciting one by any means, but it's your one a noon game on Sunday in Minnesota here. Not looking good for Minnesota. I really do want to pick them in this game just to have some unpredictability in terms of Carson Wentz leading the charge there for the Vikings, and Jordan Mason going to be the starting running back. Very curious what the O-line is going to look like come Sunday, but I think I might give the Bengals the edge here just because they can score. Browning can play. He has beaten Minnesota before and could easily do it again. So I'm going to take the Bengals in this one, 24-17.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of backups playing on both sides of the ball here. So this will be an interesting one. But I'm going to take the Vikings. They're at home. I think coming off of that performance where they, let's be honest, probably feel a little bit embarrassed on how they just played as a team. A lot of people that played, like Mason played the vast majority of that game anyways. Wentz is really the big factor in this game. I like the Addison's not back this week. Next week,
No.
right?
Correct. Week 4.
So obviously one more week without him in the lineup, but I still like them to get the job done at home. This will be a close game. I think either way it comes down to the wire and probably a field goal kick near the end of the game. I'm going to take the Vikings 24-21. Playing inspired in front of their home fans gives them a little juice and maybe make a turnover at the end on Browning and seal the game.
Sure hope so. The next game we got here, I believe, was against Steelers at the Patriots. That is also a noon game in New England. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, like Steelers kind of took a step backwards last week, while the Patriots continued to play well and are very Vrabel. Very exciting. Their kick return was definitely lit a spark in that game, so that was huge for them. I think right now Steelers are favored in this one. It's in New England though, and I don't know with Braves. Gosh, I think this is a tougher one than it should be. I'm gonna say it's another close one. I'm gonna pick the Patriots over the Steelers, being at home. Fingers crossed, weather's a little crappy or something, and they get that New England flavor in there. I'll go 20 to 14 Patriots.
I like that pick. This one's a hard one for me to pick. I could see either way. I'm trying to figure out which Steelers team is going to show up
right
in this game. The Patriots looked much better in the second half of their last game. Stevenson had a hell of a performance. I don't know. Steelers defense hasn't really shown up this year, so that makes me nervous.
Yep.
But I'm gonna roll the dice. I'll go with the Steelers 20-17 here to get the road victory. I like your low scoring game. I think both defenses play better than they have so far.
Next game we got on the dock here, another noon game here. The Rams at the Eagles here. The Rams are
noon games.
Yeah, the Rams are just they're pesky, like they're just one of those like gritty, pesky teams that comes in, scores a decent amount of points on you. Like Devontae Adams got some action last week, which was exciting. Puka just being a freak as always. Like I swear to God, that guy gets a concussion a game, but somehow doesn't. like he just get hit so hard, it's just impossible that you think he's gonna come back in the game or get up even, and he gets up, he's bloody, and it's just crazy dude.
Hockey player.
Dude, he is. He's a dog, and I love Puka. But I'm picking the Eagles at home because that's what the Eagles do. They win, especially in front of their hometown crowd there at Lincoln Financial. They're just gritty beasts that are just too good in every side of the ball, every position. I think they have an edge. They're deep as can be, and that pesky tush push just lets they get away with everything. I'm going to go, I think this one is going to be a little higher score in here. I'm going to go 34-31 Eagles.
I like it. Yeah, I was thinking the high scoring too. Eagles offense hasn't really found its rhythm yet, but I do think this is the game where they go back and forth, trade scores. I like Philly at home to get the victory as well. I'm going to go 34-28. I think A.J. Brown has a little bit of a resurgence here in this game. Devontae and Puka score both again, so it's it's going to be one of those kind of games.
Have you heard anything about Kyron Williams at all? I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard anything, but I've seen some people talking like Blake Corum up recently, and I'm like, is there something I'm missing? Like, have I not been paying attention enough to the Rams or something?
I don't know. I heard that on the offseason too, but then Kyron got his contract extension,
Right.
so I thought like that would go away.
Right.
Corum did get a decent amount of touches the last game. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Might
don't
be
know.
to watch.
It is also kind of what I thought about James Cook heading in the season. Then the complete opposite has happened. Like he's got actually more share of a workload. Like Ray Davis has been non-existent basically. So yeah, I don't know. I assume Kyron's going to continue. I don't know if they're just trying to give him a break or what. But
yeah, maybe they are. Yeah, just for early in the season enough, I guess. But I've noticed that. That was definitely a big question mark, especially with how they treat quarterbacks in the league in general.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Running backs are so hard, man. Unless you got like the elite guys, like even that, they're still getting JT's playing 70% of the snaps. I mean, JT is basically the example of like the only guy, and he's still playing 70%.
Right.
So like at a running back position, it's just you're not going to get a huge share. But you got to make sure if you're for fantasy or dynasty purposes, you want to make sure you got someone 50+% of the snaps. But that difference between 50 and 70 is massive because that means you're on the field first and second down pretty much always, and then maybe third down every once in a while.
Right.
Which is basically what you need. But like it's hard because like so many teams have split backfields now.
That's what I was looking forward actually for the beginning of the season for the Vikings to just split it with Aaron Jones because before last year it was Ty Chandler.
Who's their third string?
It's Scott. I want to say Xavier Scott. No, Ty Chandler's 4. Yeah, Ty's 4th. And they're really just using him for special teams right now. Like he is not.
They still got that fast guy. I'm trying to think of what his name was.
Kenny Nwangwu or whatever. Yeah, nope. He's on where I just saw his name pop up like the other day, and I was like, oh damn, that's where you're at. I want to say he's in Tampa Bay. I want to say. Yeah.
So is the guy behind Mason more of a speed guy?
Yeah, he is.
Pass catcher?
Yep. He's a smaller guy. He was on the Eagles. Yeah, I want to say Xavier Scott. That he came through. So yeah, we'll see how he goes. But yeah, with Aaron Jones going to IR, Vikings signed their old buddy back, Cam Akers, for like the 100th time. They brought him back to the field. So I was like, just can't get rid of this guy. Like, just give him a 3-year deal at this point. Like, stop like letting this guy linger for 4 weeks of the season. Just get over with, bite the bullet. But
they love to bring him back.
They love Cam Akers, man. That's Kevin O'Connell's like Boya, I guess, from LA. I don't know.
It's like Keenan Allen with the Chargers.
Right.
Having a resurgence.
Chargers. Speaking of the Chargers, our next game is the Broncos at the Chargers in old LA. The Broncos, as much as I think they should be better than they are, granted, last week was definitely a step up from week 1 in terms of performance, especially on Bo's end. I think they're definitely not, at least from the view now, they're not a playoff team. Like last year, they snuck in the last week kind of thing, and people were like, "Oh, we got the Broncos instead of the Bengals," but Broncos got it done. Broncos did their job last year, but this year it just doesn't seem. I don't know. There are more growing pains, I guess. Another young quarterback where it's like I don't think any of them this year are doing really well. Like Drake May's the only one has a solid record behind him, but that doesn't really mean as much for quarterback play, I feel like. So it's kind of, I'll take him with a grain of salt, but there's that learning curve. You gotta just get that experience, get those reps, as we were talking about. This game's the 3:00 game in LA, and we're gonna, I think, like I said, I think the Chargers are just better suited for this. They're in my top 5 for a reason, power ranking wise. I'm going to pick the Chargers here. Let's go 28-17 over the Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos with one of the weirdest endings to a game you'll see against the Colts. If you didn't catch it, the Colts had an opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal. The kicker missed the field goal.
Dicker.
But then there was, or no, not the Chargers, the Colts.
Colts.
Yep. And then they got a 15-yard penalty for basically interfering with the center, pushing him down to try and leap over him. So what was like a 60-yard field goal became a 45-yard field goal. So the Broncos thought they won the game. But then Colts came back out, kicked it again, and won the game. So wild ending to that game. But you're right. The weirdest thing for the Broncos, I watched quite a bit of that game. The weirdest thing I noticed in that game was that the Colts were going after Pat Surtain and having a lot of success with it. It kind of reminds me Sauce Gardner in his second year. A lot of teams his first year didn't go after him, kind of gave him the respect of like he's shutting people down, he's playing really well. And then the second year they went after him and he didn't do as well. Then he kind of figured it all out. Derek Stingley kind of went through the same thing. It seems like people are going to target Pat Surtain more often based on how he performed in that game. A lot of opportunities where he is not passing off routes the right way or, in man coverage getting beat. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out the rest of the season because the Chargers, I really like the wide receiver core that they developed here. I think Ladd is going to have a breakout game this week. I think that they're going to target the slot quite a bit, and I do like the Chargers to win this one as well. I'm going to go 31-24.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good. That's good. I hadn't really noticed that before, but I wasn't really watching that careful of those games. So that's something. Once again, keep an eye out on. Yeah, that's cool. I'm very interested to see how that pans out, especially for what defensive player of the year he was last year.
They just ran a lot of crossing routes in that game, and it worked. I mean, Pierce and Downs and Pittman, they couldn't defend the routes, and then they got Tyler Warren involved in a few of them too. So I think a lot of crossers because Denver likes to play a lot of man. They're beating them consistently, especially because Denver's defensive line is pretty damn good. So you got to get the ball quick anyway. So that's an easy way to do it. So I anticipate that you're going to see a lot of rubs and crosses in this game, especially because Chargers have Allen and Ladd, who I think are excellent route runners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love the receiving core in LA. Those Chargers receivers are awesome, deep, exciting. For the most part, young. Keenan Allen's old ass. The next game we can get into is the Lions at the Ravens. This is our Monday night game.
Hell of a game.
One Monday night game this week. The double feature the other night definitely threw me off. I was like,
too late, man.
Yeah, that's why I barely watched the second one. I was like, too much going on.
I couldn't sleep, so I ended up staying up for a lot of it. I'm just man, why can't the Raiders move the ball?
Yeah.
I'm just like, Gino kept throwing INT after first play of the game, he threw a pick.
Gosh. Yeah, man. Their strategy there in Oakland's interesting. And
Ashton Genty's really struggled so far too. I mean, every this is weird. Every rookie running back has struggled.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Trayvon, I thought was going to be an absolute beast in New England. Like 6 touches. RJ Harvey got like 5. Genty had like 13 or 15, but is averaging like 3 yards or less a carry. Just odd. This is a rookie. Judkins looked the best out of anyone last week. The guy's been wondering if he's going to prison or get a contract, and here he comes in the fourth quarter for the Browns and bust off a couple of runs. We'll see what that looks like going forward. Like usually rookie running backs take a little bit. They're usually not like splash guys, the first half of the season. It takes a little bit to get acclimated with pass protection, and that's the biggest thing. They're not out there a lot because of pass protection. If they get pass protection down, coach feels more comfortable, then they get more opportunity because they're out there. So we'll see. But weird start. I think a lot of people expected more of them to come out of the blocks quickly.
Yeah, especially for how deep the running back class was. Like that was like the big talk going into the draft is like
Yeah.
you can get a running back at any spot. Like Scatabo has probably been
Yeah, he's been the best.
probably the best one so far. Yeah, and he was what, third round pick, I want to say, or
Fourth, I think.
fourth. Yeah, so that's like.
I love how that guy runs. He's
Dude,
fun.
that boy's angry. Like he got that angry run
He's-
scepter or
he's a-
whatever, and I was like, well deserved. That guy's a brute.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet is like, Scattaboo's running like he's trying to get CTE, man. I was like, yeah, that's fair.
That's awesome. I had not heard that.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So the Monday night game here, Lions at the Ravens in Baltimore. This could be a really good game. I mean, like we saw, like the Lions bounce back big time, after that terrible game against the Packers where they just got beat up. And then they came out and just put their foot on the neck of the Bears. Granted, this is a better team than the Bears, so I think it will be a closer one. We'll see if it's high scoring, I guess. Again, I feel like it's weird to not see the Ravens have a high scoring game now at this point.
Yeah.
For what they've been doing damage wise. I think I think at home, just Baltimore, that's a hard to beat. That's hard to go against those guys. And then the Lions just kind of, I don't know, having two opposite sides of the spectrum there of games that they've played. So I think just for the safety net of it all, I'm going to take the Ravens here. Probably another higher scoring game, but I'll say like 35-28.
Great analysis there, Lee. That's a lot. That's exactly kind of how I think this is a running, high scoring game. Like I think both teams have a lot of effectiveness on the ground in this game. And there will still be passes and obviously big plays that way, but I anticipate the vast majority of the yards and the productivity on the ground for both teams. I like a higher scoring game too. Not a lot of punting, and maybe the last person type with the ball or the last driving down to make the final touchdown, get an INT type of situation. I like the Ravens at home and at night are nearly impossible to beat. I'm going 38-20 or 38-31 Ravens at home.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, man. Ravens are absolute dogs at home. They're
probably
that'll never change.
The black jerseys and
I was just thinking that. I was like, I wonder what jerseys they're wearing. I was just thinking that. I wonder if that's out there. Yeah, Ravens are nasty, nasty team. That they just constantly get the job done, So they're ones hard to avoid and go against the grain, I guess, on them. Yeah, with that said, you got anything else for us, Winch? Otherwise, we can wrap this one up, I guess.
No, I'm looking forward to another great weekend of football. It's fun to sit down on Sundays and just enjoy some games. And I feel like past 2 weeks have been really fun. There's a lot of great games. So kind of spoiled to start the season here. I mean, that Arizona Panthers game was wild. The Cowboys Giants game was wild. The Colts Broncos game. There's just some fun endings and some crazy finishes. It makes it entertaining. So whether you like those teams or don't, you got to be excited about the product the NFL is putting out the first couple weeks. I like the rule changes as well. Something I haven't hit on yet. I think it's last year's average return on kickoffs was 23%. This year's up to 77%. So the vast majority of kickoffs are getting returned. Seeing much more activity there, which I think is fun just for the game in general. Some big hits and some opportunities to be able to return the ball. So I like the adjustments they've made so far. I haven't seen the visual measurement quite yet. I don't know if it's just I haven't paid attention to an opportunity that's presented itself, but I saw it a lot in preseason. Haven't seen a lot in the regular season yet, so maybe we'll see if that makes a factor this week. But other than that, I feel like it's been pretty clean. Haven't had any yell about the refs yet this year, so
right.
That's optimistic. I don't like when they get in the way of the game.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's great points because anytime you don't really hear the ref that much, it's a good thing because otherwise it's just like ugly games up where it's like that, that cost us the game, whatever call, blah, blah, blah. We've seen that countless times. And, I'm sure at some point we'll see that in this season. Probably a few times that will be major discussions. But yeah, I think for the most part, yeah, you're right. I think the new rule changes have been for the better. One that I didn't think I kind of forgot about was that the ball hitting the landing zone, that Steelers returner that let it go past
Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, and
touchdown.
He lost his kick return job because of that. I just saw that it was like he can get it back, but he will not be it. I was like, damn,
it's well deserved. I mean, how many times you rep that? It's not like this is a new rule for them. I mean, they've been practicing it for the last 3 months or so.
Yep.
So yeah, you got to know that.
Yep.
And I think he even touched it. Like it looked like he.
It looked like he touched it. Yeah. He was trying to.
And if you're ever in a doubt, just go dive on the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Remember to rate and review, like, and share. That's the most important one, so we can get our word out to keep on doing this, and we'll sure have fun doing it. So on behalf of the Gridiron Gang here, plus Trav, who will be back at some point, that's the last I heard.
Let's go Canes.